Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Gilliard?
Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, God, we come this day with bowed heads and humble hearts. God, we come before your presence with thanksgiving, thanking you for the opportunity, God, to serve. For we, oh God, are servants of this community, of our children, of our parents. And now, God, as we go through this board meeting, God, we pray for your divine guidance, that all of our hearts and minds, God, will be focused on what is in the best interest of the child and those students in that school. God, help us not to have our own motives, our own agendas, but to focus on the things that are at hand and make the very best decision that we possibly can to serve this community and our stakeholders. We ask it all in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ms.
We'll start with presentations of QI Roberts Junior Senior High School graduates who have received their ACE diplomas. Ms. Piazza?
Thank you. I'm excited to be here today to present these official ACE diplomas. And to put it in perspective, I just want to remind us all what the ACE diploma is. The ACE diploma is an internationally recognized diploma awarded for passing at least 7 exams across a series of rigorous college-level courses. Earning the ACE diploma, along with completion of 100 hours of community service, automatically nets the student the highest 100% Bright Futures Award, regardless of ACT or SAT score. QI Roberts class of 2017 passed 377 ACE exams collectively, earning them 1,131 college credits. ACE stands for Advanced International Certificate of Education. Similar to IB and AP, ACE was designed to give students the option to pursue an ambitious curriculum and earn college credit by exam. It was developed by a branch of University of Cambridge in England, and according to studies by the University of Florida and the University of Virginia, it appears that ACE diploma students earn higher GPAs in college than AP or IB students. The first inaugural class of 2017 at QI Roberts earned 24 ACE diplomas. With such a small graduating class of some 50-some students, statistically, this is an amazing achievement. And at this time, I will ask my Cambridge coordinator, Jana Wilhite, to come up and continue the presentations. And Dr. Sorensen, if you would join us. And students, when you're come up to receive yours, if you would then line up here so we can get a group photo of all of you.
Welcome, everyone, and again, we thank you for coming to celebrate with these students because we are so incredibly proud of them. They worked very hard each and every day to be as successful as they are and to make our district incredibly proud of a first-time accomplishment for all of them. They're role models for our community and for our current students as well. There are 3 levels of the Cambridge Diploma. We have the Cambridge Diploma with Pass, the Cambridge Diploma with Merit, and the Cambridge Diploma with Distinction. The Cambridge Diploma with Distinction is among the top in the entire world. These students have competed with 186 different countries, and they are at the top of the top of the top of the top. So we had some of those students at QI, and we are incredibly proud of all of them, but shining stars for sure. So with the following students, please come up and receive your ACE diploma. Felix Aboitas, Zykia Daniels, ACE diploma with merit. Mark Diver, ACE diploma with merit. Carson Drew, ACE diploma with merit.
She definitely takes after her grandmother.
Jason Gullett, ACE diploma with merit.
Casey. you changed.
He's one of our older Cambridge students, but.
Kelly Smith.
Hannah Hughes, ACE Diploma with Distinction. Again, that is the top award that you can get. Taylor Kelly. Fasia Lee. Brittany Luong, ACE Diploma with Merit. Fasia had ACE Diploma with Merit as well. Sorry, I didn't see that on there. Deanna Miller, ACE Diploma with Merit. Jaylene Palafox, ACE Diploma with Merit. Holly Pliska, ACE Diploma with Merit. Kylie Russell, ACE Diploma with Merit. Lillian Roberti, ACE Diploma with Merit. All right. Thank you, all of you students. Congratulations. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Felix. Come on up. There he is. Felix.
Yay! I just have a question. How was your first semester of college?
Was it a breeze compared to our classes? No problem, son.
Were you prepared? That's wonderful.
Okay.
That young lady looks like Chris Lee.
And then,
I mean, look,
Felicia, how you doing?
good Lord.
You want everybody to squeeze down? Can y'all squeeze together a little tighter?
Daddy's girl.
Yeah, there you go.
Just one more time.
Y'all were so tight.
Get to know each other again.
Alright. 1, 2, 3.
I'd like to hear where each one's going to school.
Well, let's ask them.
Great job, thank y'all.
Yeah,
Look at
I
that.
have a question.
I'd like to know where each one of them's going to school.
The board members would like to know where you are going to school, so when I call your name, shout out your university and your mascot. Felix. Felix is an entrepreneur.
He's taking a gap year, right?
Yes, Zykia,
Great idea.
Nova Southeastern University.
Yeah.
Nova,
Okay.
Carson.
All right.
There you go.
All of
Jason.
them are applaudable.
Jason is on his mission. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so he is on his mission now, and he will be attending BYU whenever he is completed with his mission. Hannah. Go Gators. Taylor.
All right.
Go Osprey. Brittany.
Nova Southeastern. Go Sharks.
All right, there you go. School spirit. Jaylene.
I haven't started yet because I'm taking care of my grandma.
That is
Aw,
very
well,
good.
that's
Take
honorable.
care of that family, that's right.
That is
Holly.
US.
Gators. And Kylie. Gators.
A lot of Gators.
Right, that's right. We raised them right
I'd
around
like
here.
to try to get Florida State represented in there
That's why she
somehow.
wanted to
We'll give you a little go no.
hear where they were going to know if somebody chose Florida State.
Thank you.
We're so proud of y'all and your school.
That was really terrific. It really was.
Wonderful.
What a great day for them.
Yes.
Do y'all, Mary, are they staying for the entire meeting or would they like to go now? I thought we'd take a little.
So much for that. And it's
Glad you
not
asked.
that we don't like
Glad
you.
we asked.
Hey, it's
I
not
see
that we
how they
don't like
really
you.
feel.
It's just. It was good you said that.
Well, I figured they probably wanted to leave.
I got 3
students get in as freshmen to get. It's not easy getting in.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, I have my granddaughters over there in her junior year.
Well, it was fun while it lasted. Yeah, it's just
She's
amazing.
gonna drop out in the summer, she should.
Okay, I don't have any public comment cards, so am I to assume that no one has any comment as of yet? Okay, we'll start with the consent agenda. I'll start with Ms. Gilliard. You don't want me
Get
to?
the others just yet.
Okay,
I'm
Ms.
looking over my
Ms.
notes.
Jorgensen, would you like to pull anything?
I would like to pull F3.
Oh,
They actually forgot my daughter that, we came in for Maya with the,
But they want to say her name.
oh, okay, and say her name again?
Maya Lookadoo.
she is in, at, Florida Atlantic University at Boca Raton.
Oh, thank you
Okay.
for telling us.
And what a
Okay,
blessing.
I'm glad she did that. Okay, consent agenda, Ms. Jorgensen.
F3.
F3?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm good.
Okay, I'm ready now.
Okay, I'm so glad.
Okay, all right, F7,
F7?
yes.
Is that it?
And H1, I'll pass on that one, I'm good.
So I'm not pulling H1?
No, don't pull H1, just pull F7.
And F3. Anyone make a
I
motion?
make a motion that we approve the consent agenda. Ms. Gilliard, are you ready?
Yes,
You, nothing else?
nothing else, I'm done.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda with the exception of F3 and F7.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We'll start with you, Ms. Jorgensen.
Okay, student 1 is the one I'm pulling. She was up for expulsion. Yes, that's the one. I think you all have a little packet about her.
Okay.
I think it's been, I didn't know if I just had it or everybody
I
had gotten
think
it.
Ms. Cormany got us.
This little girl, and she is a young 15 or 16, was at the hearing with her mother, her father, and her grandmother, and has been at Solutions Center for 2 years because she was arrested 2 years ago and charged with a felony, 2 felonies. And in June, when she pled out, she was put up for expulsion automatically, or she was put up for expulsion, not automatically, but she's convicted now of a felony from 2 years ago. So once the conviction comes through, they put her up for expulsion. And she sat there and cried and said how she was going to drop out. She could not take those 4 walls anymore. And besides, her grandmother's sick and her dad is sick, and they were, and she wants to stay home and help her mother take care of them. And I feel like we were losing the child. And I spoke with Miss France, and we have her enrolled in the committee. 4-1 voted to leave her at Solution Center to the end of this year, and then put her back in Palaca High School with the safety plan. So that was the vote, 4-1. No expulsion. Leave her at Solution till the end of this year, and then put her back. Miss France got with the family, and the girl is enrolled at home in our district's virtual school.
Oh, good.
And I need to make a motion so that when she comes back to Palaca High with the safety plan, she doesn't have to finish out the 5 months at Solution Center that she's now on virtual.
Okay, okay.
Is that understood?
Yes, so when she comes back for the 2018-19 school year, she will be done. She is
No.
Safety
with the
plan.
safety plan.
Right, she's
Yes.
done.
Right, but she's
Exactly,
done
that's
with
the
hers?
point of my motion, is that the recommendation was that she stay at Solutions till the end of this year and then go back to Palaca High School with the safety plan. She had no intention of doing that, and I was afraid we'd lose her.
We would have.
So, again, Miss France worked with the family. We got her enrolled in our virtual school. I would like to make a motion that,
Prior to your motion,
Sure.
one question. Who will be responsible for the safety plan? We don't want that to fall through the cracks. She shows up at Palaca High, and I thought you did it. You thought I did it, you know.
well, I'm assuming.
Who's on
Is
first?
Mr. Weaver around?
So we need to know who's gonna have that plan in place.
He's in his office.
Student services.
Travis will.
Yeah, Travis
So
will.
student services will.
Was the
We good?
felony arrest, was it a school-related?
No, off campus. Off campus, not
And so-
related. And she
and
was
no
young.
jail time or
No
anything?
jail time or anything. She's just sat in Solution Center for over 2 years.
Yeah, and that,
And is ready to quit, you know, and her grades aren't that terrible. So, any other questions? I'd like to make a motion that student number 1 completes the rest of this year with the district's home virtual program. And in August of the 2018-19 school year, when she returns to Palaca High School, there will be a student safety plan in place.
I would, before I second the motion, I would say that I would have to hear from the principal of the receiving school first to see. I'd need more knowledge exactly of what occurred, so I'm not gonna be.
Could we get a second and then we could talk about it?
All right, I'll second the motion.
Okay, I can tell you that if I didn't pull this, you wouldn't have known anything about it. You would have voted yes, and the student was returning to Palaca High School in August with the safety plan. That's what the committee voted. The only difference is they voted to leave her at Solution Center for the rest of this year.
And we're doing something
instead, we're
different.
doing something different. So I need a motion so that when she goes back in August, she doesn't have to make up the Solution Center time. We're replacing this Solution Center time that the committee recommended with home district virtual school. Either way, she was going to Palaca High with the safety plan in
there's no-
August. That's what the committee voted.
I love it when Kathy loves kids. I'm
I
good.
do, I
I'm
love
good.
kids. I do, and this is a nice little girl. It really is, who deserves
Can I
a
make a
chance.
second?
If, I already
Thank you.
seconded it, I already did. Well, I feel better knowing that if the child starts to act up and doesn't appreciate this going above and beyond the committee's recommendation, then they will be dealt with a very firm and swift fashion.
I'm sure.
Okay.
as is any other student who's in
And
this
with the safety
situation.
plan in place, if she gets frustrated or something, you know,
There's help for her
there's
there.
somebody there
Her
to
guidance
handle that.
counselors.
Yes.
After not having been out in the
Right,
the
regular
social life
population, yeah.
for 2 years, and now all of a sudden
go
she's
batty.
16, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
thank you, folks.
Motion passes. Okay, let's look at F7.
Yes, the sports medicine program agreement between Palaca High School and Palaca Physical Therapy. Have no problem with that. I understand that we need these people in place if our children are injured in that particular sport. But what jumped out at me was the $20,000, and it said that the district will pay for this. General funds, my concern is that after we
I think that was previously agreed upon, 20,000 per high school per year, correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so this is already
This
done.
is something we've been
budgeted
doing this
for.
for a long time.
Oh, prior to me even getting here.
Well,
Well, somebody
yeah,
should have
but
told
that doesn't
me
mean it
that.
has to go on forever.
Thank you,
Miss
Thomas.
Gilliard.
Well, I did look for you earlier.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Well, and
right.
we have to have them. I mean,
And that shows you, Thomas, I'm reading a little bit, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Ms.
Thank you.
Jorgensen, did you want to say something?
Sandy, just because we've done it that way forever doesn't mean we have to continue to do it. If we don't change things, nothing will change. Now, I'm not saying we change this. It's something that we need.
Oh, I'm in
have to
agreement
have.
with it, but I just, when I read where it came from, I was
I
just
agree, and
concerned
We
about
would be
Jim.
so liable if we
Oh,
didn't.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
not getting an argument about that. I just wanted to be
Yeah,
sure about this
okay.
part. And that we didn't put a little kitty in everybody's allocations and their budget for them to
Okay.
have at each high school. No problem.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve.
F7.
Did you second, Ms.
Yes, ma'am.
Gilliard?
Yes, ma'am.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Okay, let's go out of regular session into emergency session. Douglas and Hedstrom invoice, 2028 justification explanation, time sensitive. Invoice received after publication of agenda.
And if I could just say for the record, our invoice is not an emergency. Ms. Harmony put that on the agenda, but, I just wanted to-
She was being very conscientious.
There's an
conscientious.
There's an outstanding balance,
She
and
wanted
we
you to have
want
Christmas
our
money.
records clear. Yeah.
I would like to ask a question. We are still posting school board attorney expenses versus district. Yes, ma'am, I keep a chart. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve Douglas and Hedstrom's invoice.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We'll go out of emergency session, back into regular session. There is no unfinished business, but there is some new business. The first is, Rhonda, are you coming up for that? Discussion, input, and action, budget amendments for September 2017.
Okay, September is always the first month of the fiscal year when we have budget amendments because we do not get the final budget approved officially until mid-September, and then they're allowed to start making changes as needed. So I'll briefly go over the changes that were made. In the general fund, we received revenue of $9,312, and this is the charter school capital outlay dollars that first come into the capital project funds, and then we have to transfer them over into the general fund to pay out to the charter schools, and it's the way that DOE sets up doing that. You'll also see budget amendment number 2 is capital project funds, and that's that same $9,312. In the special revenue funds, there were several grants that came in. The project award letters do not come in time for all of them to get into the original budget. So we have an increase in the special revenue funds of $9,367,630.50. And to break that down, it was the Carl Perkins grant of $161,000, the Carl Perkins rural grant of $50,386, IDEA Part B Pre-K, $113,309. IDEA Part B K-12, $2,684,536. Title III Part A English Language Learners, $75,000. Title IX Part A Homeless, $73,500. Title VI Rural Low Income, $90,027. Migrant Farm Workers Jobs, $144,092. SIG at Mosley, $695,562. SIG 4 Mellon, $1,358,486. And the Title I school level allocations of $3,921,129.50 for that total of $9.3 million. Also in internal service funds, which are NEFAC funds, we had $4,969,503.45, exact same scenarios. They're grant award letters coming in after the budget was processed. So we've got Fiddlers, IDEA Part B discretionary, $753,000. ISRD, Institute for Small and Rural Development, IDEA Part B, $542,000. Fiddlers, IDEA Part B preschool, $112,978. Fiddlers, IDEA Part B Administration, HRD, $1,521,785. The Community School Improvement Leaders Grant, $569,074.98. SEC TIF for Gilchrist County, their roll forward $611,067.01. Fiddlers General Revenue, $23,571. The Regional Consortium State Dollars Grant, $619,452.86, and Dr. Brian Dassler Leaders Grant, $216,447.60. And they also had a reduction in retained earnings in their Regional Principal Leadership Grant as they decided to pull some out of retained earnings to put into an account strip to spend. Any questions?
I don't have any.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Rhonda. Before we discuss the Florida Power and Light contract, our superintendent has something he'd like to say.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chairman. And yesterday, we had a board workshop on the proposed contract with Florida Power and Light, and this has been an ongoing process, and a lot of people have been working many hours on this. So I want to take a minute and just read a prepared statement to let you know what our recommendation is. This is a pretty big decision to make today, so if you would bear with me for just a minute. A few months ago, Florida Power and Light representatives and our administrative team enthusiastically presented the FPL project to you for the first time via board workshop due to our chiller needs at Crescent City High, Interlaken High, and Price Middle School. Since that presentation, we have carefully vetted the project by having our attorneys and our chief financial officer examine the contract. We have also reached out to key personnel of other districts in the state who have considered or actually have an existing contract with Florida Power and Light, or who may have a similar contract with another company. The project with FPL would only replace 2 of our 3 chillers, leaving us to find a new chiller at Price Middle School. Additionally, taking on this project is a 15-year commitment over which time the district will be paying $1,879,157 in interest alone. It is incumbent upon us to be good stewards of the school district's budget, and I cannot in good conscience recommend a project that others will have to assume responsibility for long after we are all gone. Therefore, after careful consideration, our administrative team has decided to recommend that you do not approve the FPL contract today. And questions, we do have Mr. Bowling and Ms. Odom here if you have any specific questions, and I know
And
Florida Power and
Florida Power
Light
and Light's here for any
representatives here. So
questions.
anyway, that's our recommendation, and it's your pleasure to act in whatever way you see fit.
Okay, so we're not talking tabling this for now. We're talking about just for now, just take our
Yeah,
hands
Florida
off.
Power and Light was, has been very cooperative, very gracious, and actually they extended our deadline. We were supposed to entertain this at our last board meeting, and they granted us, because by contract, we were supposed to decide on this, and they granted us an extension. And we certainly appreciate that, but we have spent hours and hours looking at this, and we just feel, especially because of the length of time, we have a lot of concerns about that right now. And of course, I know you heard the discussion yesterday about how the savings would pay for, the cost and that type thing. I understand that, but there's some variables there that we're just not comfortable with. And again, if you want some specific information, we have some people that have spent a lot of time and can answer questions, and as well as FPL. We want this to be,
Well,
want you to have the most information you can.
I said yesterday, FPL has always been a very valued
They sure have.
partner here, and
Right.
this is nothing against that partnership, but these are the same concerns that I echoed yesterday, that the action of a board will bind the action of a future board, which that can all be remedied. I understand that, but it does force some obligations beyond normal terms that I'm not comfortable with, given the environment from state funding that we've seen. So I'm hesitant, and that's.
I have a question. I seem to remember, I did miss yesterday, and I apologize, I've been sick. But I remember from the first presentation, aren't we gonna be paying 15, 20 grand to them for making this assessment, and we're not going to?
Rhonda, can you address the financial questions that she has?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have that amount written down somewhere. That was the feasibility study that the board voted on back in May, I believe, that if we did not go that route and implement that, we would be looking at having to pay back, and I know it was $198,000. Got the exact amount here somewhere. Seems like $198,700 that we would be on the hook for having to pay
So
back.
if we turn this down, we'll owe,
That's correct.
Yes.
and that's general fund money.
That would be general
No way
fund
of
money.
taking that out of capital.
It is not.
Maintenance, Nothing like that.
No, ma'am, it would be general fund money. Would be coming from the fund balance, I would assume. Are there any other financial questions
I
while I'm up
just,
here?
we're in such uncertain times as far as our budget and our money that we receive from the state is concerned. And the more I read about the new tax bill that could be voted on, federal money could be changed drastically as well. And I just am very hesitant to vote on something of this magnitude at this time.
That was one of our key things that we were looking at, and though we do agree that the tax exempt equipment purchase agreement between FPNL and the Bank of America financing it is a viable project, we had concerns with obligating the district to a 15-year program, and even we would have different staff and board, and we would in essence be obligating them to something that they had no part in choosing.
Depending on the majority of the vote today, I mean, we could always, if the board does not vote to approve, then we could always enter into an agreement if we felt we had better economic footing
That's correct.
for the future. So I'd like to make a motion, if I could, that we follow the superintendent's and the district staff recommendation to not approve the FPL agreement at this time. And I mean, if that, Charlie, will that suffice in the motion?
I think maybe the better way to approach it is the chair would call for a motion to approve the item on the agenda, and if there's no motion, then it would die for lack of a motion.
Okay.
Okay.
I would like to ask a question before we do that.
Certainly.
Did we not know when we started this with FPL that it was a 15-year commitment? I'm just
I
asking.
think I remember
Did
it
we know
being
then?
one when it was presented to us, but, I mean, we were all kind of open-eyed and eared and relying on
Looking
a lot
for
of good
different
past,
things to help us.
a lot of good past success we've had with FPL, and maybe this could be too, but I'm hesitant based on just my observations at this time. And
Well, the initial thing was the audit, and then we came back and, then the plan was presented to us as far as the length of time and the cost and that type of thing. So all this came to us after the initial audit.
I make a motion, so I read the motion.
No, you can't make a motion. You call for a motion.
That's what I meant. I call for a motion concerning the Florida Power and Light, approval of the Florida Power and Light contract. There is no motion on the floor. So the motion fails.
It dies for lack of motion.
Yeah, for lack of motion. Okay. Okay, school board member reports. Would anyone like to volunteer to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I have nothing to report.
Sure. We voted on the budget amendments and all that.
Oh, we didn't.
I make a motion that we approve the budget amendments as presented by Ms. Odom.
second,
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes, and I apologize for that. Okay, Ms. Jorgensen?
I really don't have anything to report, so that's why I figured I'd go first. I've been sick, home, in bed, pretty much.
I'll go next. I'll mix things up. The first thing I'd like to do is encourage everyone to be in prayer for our Mosley school family on the loss of the little third grade girl. It is, there are just no words. I found out yesterday that her brother was one of my students at Palatka High School. I was his guidance counselor, and it just brought it a little bit closer. We need to be in prayer for her family and for Sarah Jean and for all the faculty and staff at Mosley, especially her teacher, Tish Jones. I saw her the other day. She was going by the house, and she is distraught. So we certainly need to be in prayer for them. I'd also like to tell you about a little trip that Miss Broski took Miss Gilliard and I on a week ago. Was it last Friday?
Last Friday.
We had a ball. We went to visit some pre-K classes. We started out at Browning Pierce, and y'all, those kids are so cute, and that's why we go in education. I know, but I don't think I could handle that much cuteness pre-K all day long. They were great, and we got to see, and they're smart too. Yes. They're so smart. You know, our pre-K programs are so important. So we went from there to Mosley, and they had it going on at Mosley too. Everywhere we went, they were busy learning, and they were in centers and groups, and boy, they make this motion, and they stand up, and then they push their chairs in, and then they get in line, and they go to the next group. If high school kids acted like that, we'd be in perfect shape. And then we ended the day at James A. Long, and it's just wonderful there too. And I really appreciate that, Ms. Broski. It was a very eye-opening experience. I judged, and boy, was that a trip, parliamentary procedure. And at the FFA sub-districts, there was only one team, so there wasn't a whole lot to do, but that was a lot of fun. Those kids, I tell you, our future's bright with all of those kids, with our agriculture and FFA students. And then the last thing I want to say, I had a great time moderating the spelling bee at CeeLo this morning. Fortunately, we didn't get to the words that I didn't know how to pronounce very well because there's some in there. And again, we have some very, very bright kids in our district. And I would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I wish y'all didn't have to work this week, but we do. And I hope you have a wonderful time with your families during Christmas break. I'm through now. Quit.
Don't tell me.
You old bug at me.
Well, I'm just amazed.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, you go.
Oh, okay. Again, with the pre-K, very, very impressive. And like Mrs. Crawford said, to watch them move from center to center through whatever various methods. And then at James A. Long, they had the opportunity to move freely if they chose. And they would grab their little magnet with their name on it and put it at another station. And one little fellow was sitting in a rocking chair with his hat on and his legs crossed like an old man, just reading his book. It was
so
just,
cute.
it warms your heart, and I'm glad. And we've already agreed to visit South Putnam and
West Putnam.
We don't want to leave anyone out because it is something. Got an opportunity last night to be a part of the prestigious Jim McCool All-County Football Awards program. The food was great. I don't know that catering company, but the food was great. The representatives from Georgia Pacific, we want to thank them publicly for all they do to support our students in whatever it be it academic, be it sports. They are right there supporting us. And to John Raymond and to Joe Theobald for their part in it. And the young men they had some impressive stats. But what struck me the most, those young men had some high GPAs. The little Dorsey kid from, was it Interlochen, 4.0?
Wow.
And playing football. And I'm saying, oh my God,
It can be done.
it can be done. And those coaches are making an impression on them. Pooh Bear is the coach at Crescent City, and his quarterback received what did they call it? The player of the year.
MVP,
And so it's just great things are happening. As you know, my niece did the presentation last board meeting, and she did get to go to Tallahassee. We have a video of her on the Senate floor actually making a presentation to them, and they wholeheartedly agreed that they will let it go, let the monies come back. She's also been invited back to spend a week and shadow somebody. She took a picture with Senator Perry and some other representatives and things, and so we're pleased with her as a family, and she might get a Christmas gift. She might. I'm done.
Well, that's a pretty compelling story. I love this time of year when you have the fall sports trophies and banquets, and we do a lot of great things. Our pre-K programs are some of the best around the state,
Yes.
and Lucy has always been super with that, and she worked with me for years trying to teach me about pre-K kids, and I learned a little bit, but I tell you what, it's a tough job, and there's no better footing for a child to have than to get into the pre-K program at the same time as all other kids, and it's a very needed thing. I look forward, this is my time of the year that I try to keep, I've been touching base with the superintendent on the possibility of some legislative appropriations that he's working on with the lobbyist, and I'm very optimistic that we're going to have a real good year there with some of the things that we're trying to do, particularly career-wise. And I look forward to the results of the OPAGA study, because that's something that's been needed for a long, long time, and our money that we're entitled to just goes right into the budget over in St. Johns County and does not come to us. That's about $400,000 a year. So it would certainly be nice to get what we want. But I know that Southern Strategies are working very hard on that, and I think we're going to have some more help as well. So I'll be touching base with them over the holidays. I'm not going to let them rest. We'll stick with them. But anyway, it's wonderful. Our grandkids they're very, Deborah and my grandkids are very excited, and I am surprised at how much they learn. You were talking about the pre-K and how smart they are. They go to school one day and they come back little grown-up people almost.
Yes,
You know,
indeed.
it's amazing how fast they learn and grow. But that's it, and look forward. I hope everybody has a safe and wonderful Christmas.
Mr. Attorney?
There's nothing new in the legal department. Everything is going well. Merry Christmas to you too.
If we come by the office, do we get free donuts?
Mr. Buckles is referencing that our temporary office is beside Dunkin' Donuts as we repair our main office after the effects of Hurricane Irma. But yes, for you, we will make sure that there are donuts and coffee
does
available.
not. He doesn't need any
Just
more
cut the hole out
donuts.
of all the donuts. I'll eat the whole out of it.
All right.
Dr. Sorensen?
Yeah, stay tuned. First of all, next week, all of our schools and offices will be closed, and it's part of our energy conservation as far as shutting our schools down and wanting people to take time off and re-energize. So
Sir need it.
if you go to any of our schools, there may not be anybody there. Also, we're anticipating our graduation rate to be made public here anytime.
Okay.
And we will definitely make that known to everybody. And we're expecting good news, but we don't want to say anything yet till it comes out. But we're definitely we've had people behind the scenes working very hard, as you well know. We have some goals that we've set, and we definitely are working hard to meet those goals. Final things, you should have received an invitation to attend a meeting tomorrow at the County Commission room, and we've already noticed that meeting, so all of you can attend that. But as part of Representative Yoho is hosting a meeting. It's called Project Putnam, and also there's another group called Putnam Forward, F-O-R-W-A-R-D, Forward, that actually invited him last month to come and do a presentation. And at that time, our curriculum and instruction team presented a proposal to Representative Yoho to fund some of our CTE projects, okay? And as you well know, to start CTE programs, it costs some money, for materials, to hire teachers. And what we're asking Representative Yoho is, as part of our request, is to fund some future career programs that are in line with the needs of Putnam County. Specifically STEM-related jobs and, possible career academies. So we're looking at some real big projects in the future, and, he's expressed the intent to try to help us fund some of those projects. So tomorrow at that meeting, our
What
curriculum
time is it?
instruction team.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Our curriculum instruction team will have a second phase of that proposal to present tomorrow, and I would encourage you to come out and support that wholeheartedly. And, we're asking for the moon, so we'll see what happens, but that's going to be really important for our district to move ahead. Mr. Buckles has already alluded to, we've made a request of our state legislature to continue funding for some of our projects. So, we're definitely out there seeking as much funding as possible in addition to what we're already getting.
Well, I just wanted to say, when you and I and some others met with Representative Yoho, it was like the first time I heard anybody say, we really want to work with Putnam County, we really want to help you. I was very impressed, and then this is a follow-up these meetings are a follow-up to that, and, so we can specifically tell him what we want,
Right. And they,
what we need.
right, and they've made some requests of us. First of all, we have a plan to meet the 80% graduation level by 2020, and he's come back in this initial meeting and asked us to set a more ambitious target of 90%. So what we've done is we've actually adjusted our targets where we're gonna aim for 80% in the year 19 rather than 20, and then by 2024, it is our goal to reach the 90% level. So we are well on our way, and last year we exceeded our goal, but that's one of the requirements they have had of us. So in order to reach that goal, we have to have some things in place, some programs that can meet the needs of our kids. So these are real goals, and we've got some real plans to achieve them. And I would just ask that you come and support us in any way you can, like you always do. But we're definitely gonna, ask, and hopefully it will be given. So, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, anything else? Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.